My name's Nate Gormley. I'm a recovering drug addict alcoholic. Used heavily for 20 plus years. Was at the end of my rope. Had every law enforcement agency after me, staring death in the face. Went into treatment on August 28th, 2016. That was the last day I had a drink or drug or anything. And that was where it all began. Went through inpatient treatment, got into their halfway house. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have any money. According to the state of Oklahoma, I was homeless because I'm living in a state-funded facility. God gave me back the ability to dream and put a dream on my heart to start my own business. And I did. Started raking leaves, convinced people to drive me around, borrowed a trailer, just started making it happen, just out there doing it. And raking leaves turned into cutting grass, and that turned into trimming trees, and then I got a driver's license, and then I've hired my first employee. And I knew as soon as I'd done that, that's what I was meant to do. I'm the owner of Oklahoma Fence Construction, started in also 2016. So we didn't start off as a fence company. We started off just doing anything people would pay us for. And we didn't build our first fence until early 2019. And we went from that one fence in 2018 to doing almost $250,000 worth of fences in 2019. Before 2020, I asked the crew, how do y'all feel about just being a fence company instead of cutting grass, trimming trees, whatever someone was asking us to do, that was legal. They said, we would love that. We hate cutting grass, There's no guarantee people are going to keep calling and having you build them fences. There is guarantees in lawn contracts that you have, but I felt it was the right decision. So in 2020, we officially became Oklahoma Fence and Construction, said no to all the lawn and landscape stuff, strictly built fences. In February of 2020, we landed our largest job, still to date, $250,000 job, one job. And in that year, we done, I think, almost 800,000 in fences. Last year, we did over 2.8 million. Went from raking leaves for $50 to 2.8 million in fences last year. 100% employing recovering addicts and alcoholics. The mission behind Oklahoma Fence and Construction is not building fences, it's building people. I tell people all the time, I'm in the people building business. I want to take people that don't have an opportunity anywhere else and provide them with a job, but also teach them what it's like to change their life, what it's like to get up, do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. The mission has always been the people first, and what those people can produce is secondary. And that's always been the goal, always. I know when God put that idea on my heart, I was like, God, that's a horrible idea to only hire addicts and alcoholics. We're never going to get any work, but it's the number one reason why we got work. In 2007, when I was still in alcoholism and addiction, the last real job I had was working at a company called Tulsa Tube Bending. I worked there from 2007 till 2012, I believe. While I was there, the owner and the president of this company, I knew they were great people. They gave me a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities that no other place would have given me. And they were very vocal about their faith and their beliefs, and I learned so much while I was there, and I wasn't even trying to learn anything. Like I said, I still had the monkey on my back of addiction. And as that demon got bigger, I stole from this company. I robbed them.
I remember the interview with Nate. Laura and I interviewed Nate. We had a welding position that was open, and he came in, we interviewed, and just right away you could tell Nate had more on the ball than a typical person. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember after the interview, Nate got up, walked out, and I turned to Laura and I said, that dude's got a lot on the ball. That's a smart dude. There's a story here. I don't know what it is. We offered Nate the job. He accepted the job, and he was good. But Nate had issues, right? Nate really had issues. He was not a happy guy. He was very good at what he did, but there was something missing. So we saw Nate as somebody that had this tremendous potential, but was unable to realize it. We offered him a position in the plant office. He accepted, did a very, very good job. But I guess, if you will, old Nate was a totally different person than what he is today. I mean, we take a Christmas picture where we all dress up in costume each year, the company-wide. We all try to make a funny face or do something. It was like beating him to get him to even show up the day of the Christmas picture. Okay, he didn't want to be in it. When he was in it, okay, so that was kind of epitomized who Nate was at the time. He was a tortured soul at that time. He knew he had tremendous abilities, but he was almost in his own way. Nate's a bright guy. He found ways that he could steal from the company, in ways where he actually even circumvented some of our IT systems so that he could pay himself more. Okay, see that he got paid for more hours than he worked. He was stealing for the company. He was using company credit cards. It was a terrible deal, absolutely terrible deal. We have a security consultant that we use who's ex-Tulsa PD, and we called him in and asked for his advice. So what do we do about this stuff? Showed him the evidence, and he said, we could put this guy away. I mean, we can have this guy arrested, and we can do some ugly things with this guy, right? We decided not to press charges, but instead lay out all this information to Nate, tell him that we're going to let him go, tell him what we could be doing. And really our intent was to hope that that would be the bottom for him, that maybe this would be something that would kickstart him eventually into realizing his potential. He likes that. Nate was a stand-up guy about it. He accepted, he didn't disagree, all that kind of thing. So let him go. It was the biggest time we've ever been aware of anybody stealing like he did from us.
He wrote a letter to us, a nice long letter. The letter started with kind of, an apology, and then, a little brief history of this is where I went. This is how far down my life went. And this is how good the Lord is in bringing me out of this. And this is what I'm doing with my life right now. And I reckon I owe you about $10,000, is what he said. And so we had no idea that it was that much. But he said, I reckon I owe you about $10,000. He obviously had been doing this for quite a while before we found him out, because Nate's a very smart person. And he said, I am going to start paying you back.
I knew I had to prove myself, and each month, as much money as I could, I'd mail him a check. $25 turned into $50, turned into $100. And then I think over the course of probably 2 years, I got to where I only owed them $2,400. So I wrote the check, sat down and typed an email, sent it to Brad. I'm sending this check. If by my records, then we should be good as far as the debt's concerned. And wanted to thank him again for all that I had learned, and kind of let them know what all Oklahoma Fence had been doing over the last 2 years, and how we've been able to help people, and that without them even realizing it, they played a large role in that, because there's no way I could have grown this company the way I did having not had been around them and seeing what it was like to be a good leader.
It was absolutely astounding. We wrote him back and said, if you can, put a stop on this check. We are incredibly impressed with what you've done. Because at that point, we could see what he was trying to do. We had heard a little bit about his story where he was operating the company and he was helping others. He said, hey, I bet you have a better use for this money. So if you will, please put that to good use. Okay. Laura and I, our president and I, started having monthly meetings with Nate, and it was like a totally different person in that same skin. It was absolutely a transformation unlike anything I have ever seen in my life.
He was just kind of picking our brain and just saying, I want to grow my business, because what I really want to do is I want to hire people like me. And that's when we started talking about second chance offenders or recovering addicts. And I thought that was very appealing to me.
It was a great meeting. I mean, we laughed together, we cried together, we prayed together. At the end of it, they just said, hey, we love what you're doing. How can we be a part of it?
There's a lot of second chance offenders. There's a lot of recovering addicts out there. We can bring in some of your people from your fence company you currently have working there if you decide you want to do that, and we can develop a system to do that.
And that worked out very, very well. I was surprised when he said that he wanted to consider shutting down Oklahoma Fence and Construction, because I didn't want to get in the way of what he was already doing.
We came up with a plan to successfully close down Oklahoma Fence and Construction, bring all of my crew over here to Tulsa Tube Bending, and I would take a management position in new product development, process improvement, and we would begin giving people second chances, just like the fence company did. It wasn't an easy decision, but I thought, this is a company that I could put my crew at that can pay them starting out more than I ever could. They can give them health insurance, something that you cannot hardly find anywhere in the construction industry. They're going to have 401k. They'll be able to retire with dignity and not work themselves into an early grave. And so with that option, I was like, is your pride so big that you're not going to do that just because it's not your own company? And the answer is no, absolutely not. Really what we're trying to do here is prove to the world that you can build a successful company, and you can do it by hiring the folks that most people won't even give a chance. And we proved that. Franchising that hiring model into another well-established company is just the beginning. What better time to give people a chance? There's an entire sector out there, an entire community that is being overlooked, that are just dying to have an opportunity. What better time to do it, and what better place than Oklahoma, that has the highest incarceration rate of any democracy on the planet? What better place to give second chances? It's my mission for Oklahoma to be known as the land of second chances, rather than the land where you leave on probation. Because that's true. Come to Oklahoma on vacation, leave on probation. Yeah, that's what they say.
We can work to bring help to these people and offer chances for them, because we all need that. Nobody should be defined by a mistake.
It really, really helps when you build bonds with your employees, and when you reach out to people that are in need, they recognize that. They'll give you a second chance if you make a mistake, all right? They'll do their part more, because unfortunately, it's not very common from a business standpoint. And so it's the right thing to do, and it's a great business thing to do. And what a wonderful way to spend your life.
Nate coming in is just another piece of the puzzle, and it kind of is the glue that puts things together.
He has such a serving heart about how he wants to be used. How can I help other people? How can I serve other people? Those kind of issues. Not only is he making better use of the skills he has and the talents that he has, but now he has this incredible happy life, and he's helping so many people. Actually, I met with Nate just yesterday. Our Christmas photo is next week. We were wrapping up on just some checking and stuff, and he said, oh, my last deal I wanted to tell you is, the Christmas photo is whatever, next Wednesday. I had a dentist appointment conflict where if I went to the dentist, I wouldn't be at the Christmas photo. And I wanted to let you know I'm not about to miss the Christmas photo now. So I have changed my dentist appointment, and I promise you, I'll be there, I'll be smiling, I'll be happy. Isn't that funny?
I would like to say a huge thank you to all of our customers, all of the people that have supported us. They've done it because of the mission. Thank you so much. I never dreamed we would be as successful as we are, and we've been able to help so many people. I'm sorry. I never dreamed that we could change lives the way we have. It's been truly a gift, and it's all been because of the people that support us, the customers. We've had customers that would wait 6 months to have their fence built just so it can be built by these people. And thank you. I cannot say thank you enough.